What if I told you that the secret to a long, happy, and really meaningful life could be boiled down to just one single word? Well, in Japan, there's a concept that does exactly that. It's about having a reason to jump out of bed every single morning. So today, we're going to dive into this incredible idea, Ikigai.
So it all kind of starts with this puzzle. On the islands of Okinawa, Japan, you find one of the highest concentrations of people living past 100 anywhere on the planet. But here's the thing. They aren't just living longer, they're living better. I mean, they're active, they're vibrant, and they're joyful, way into their old age. So what do they know that we don't?
Well, their secret isn't some crazy diet plan or a lucky genetic lottery ticket. Nope. It's a philosophy, one that's just woven into the fabric of their daily lives. It's a really deep reason to exist. It's a concept the Japanese call Ikigai.
All right, so what is this Ikigai thing really? Let's peel back the layers and take a look at the actual structure behind this, honestly, life-changing idea.
Okay, so at its heart, Ikigai basically means a reason for being. But this is not about chasing money or becoming famous. Not at all. It's about tuning into that quiet little voice inside of you that whispers, "This is it. This is why I'm here." It's that powerful, personal pull that gets you out of bed each day.
The path to actually finding your Ikigai starts with 4 questions that seem pretty simple on the surface, but don't let that fool you. These aren't just items to check off a list. Think of them more like lifelong companions for reflection, always guiding you a little bit closer to your most authentic self.
Now, probably the best way to really get this is by looking at the famous Ikigai diagram. Think of it like a map, with 4 big overlapping circles that all lead you to the treasure right in the center, your purpose. And this is where it gets really interesting. See, when the circles overlap, you get close, but not quite there. For instance, combine what you love with what you're good at, and bam, that's your passion. It feels great, sure, but it can also feel a little self-indulgent. Now, combine your skills with what you get paid for, and you've got a profession. It's stable, yeah? But for so many of us, it can start to feel like an empty, soul-crushing routine.
And it's the same deal when we look at the other combinations. A vocation, doing what the world needs, and getting paid for it sounds awesome, right? But it can lead to some crippling self-doubt if it's not really one of your strengths. And then there's your mission, uniting what you love with what the world needs. That's noble, it's joyful, but it can so easily lead to total burnout if you can't support yourself.
And this brings us to the most important point. When you find that rare, beautiful place where all 4 of those circles overlap, where your passion, your profession, your vocation, and your mission all come together, that is your Ikigai. It's your center. It's the point where you stop just surviving and you start truly thriving.
Okay, let's bring this down to earth with an example. Meet Maria. She loves baking. She's really good at creating new recipes. Her town needs fresh, healthy bread, and she can be paid for it with her small bakery. See? Her Ikigai isn't about, changing the entire world. It's about finding a perfect, sustainable harmony in her own life. It's simple, it's true, and it's completely hers.
Maria's story is the perfect bridge to swing back to Okinawa, that village of longevity we talked about. Because for the people who live there, Ikigai isn't just some theory in a diagram. It's a living, breathing reality, day in and day out.
This powerful quote from an Okinawan elder, man, it just gets to the very heart of it. The goal isn't just to add more years to your life, but to add more life to your years. It's all about living with purpose, right until the very end. One of their most famous little secrets is a principle they call hara hachi bu. It's a simple rule: stop eating when you're about 80% full. But this isn't just a diet tip. It's a whole philosophy of moderation and mindfulness that goes way beyond the dinner table. It's about leaving a little room, staying light, and never overdoing it. And believe me, it goes so far beyond just diet. Their entire lifestyle is built on these pillars of well-being. They're all about constant, gentle movement. Think gardening and walking, not brutal gym workouts. They formed something called a moai, which is basically a dedicated group of lifelong friends who act as a social and emotional safety net. And this is huge. They don't really have a word for retirement. They just keep doing what they love because their purpose, it never has an expiration date. Okay, so how do you start to bring this into your own life? Well, the great news is you don't need to, overhaul everything overnight. Finding your Ikigai is a journey of small, intentional steps.
So here's a simple little roadmap to get you started. First, reconnect with your childhood passions. What did you love to do before you had to worry about being practical? Next, start to identify your flow states. You know, those moments where you just completely lose track of time. Also, pay close attention to the things people genuinely thank you for. Those are often huge clues to your natural gifts. And finally, be a curious explorer. Don't just sit and think about it. Get out there and actually try things.
And let's just linger on that idea of flow for a second. You know what I'm talking about, right? It's that magical state where you're so absorbed in what you're doing that time, stress, even hunger, they just melt away. You are completely in the zone. That feeling, that's not just a pleasant distraction. It is a powerful, powerful signpost pointing you directly toward your Ikigai. So remember, your Ikigai isn't something you need to go out and invent. It's already inside you, just waiting to be uncovered. It's less like a lightning strike and more like trying to tune in to a quiet radio station. So I'll leave you with this. What's one small thing, just one, that you can do today to start listening for it?